In this video, I want to talk about 8 ways to get yourself motivated and to get yourself out of an unmotivated rut. Nothing feels quite like remembering a time when you were like super motivated, doing things every day, like working towards your goal, doing all the things, but then not being able to recapture that motivation. It's especially bad when you're halfway through achieving something, like you're 4 weeks into your 8-week challenge, or you're like halfway through writing your ebook and you can remember when you were really into it and you were doing all of the things. You just feel like you can feel your motivation like draining out of you. In this video, I want to talk about some techniques that you can use to sort of snap yourself out of that unmotivated rut and just regain back that motivation, starting with measuring your excitement. So the first goal that I set for this year, and you guys saw me do this, was to batch record a whole bunch of content so that I could have 3 months sort of off of content creation. So 3 months creating heaps of videos, then 3 months where I could just not create any videos. And at first I was motivated like a ball of energy, recording so much. I did get really far ahead of my schedule and then I just hit a wall. And at first I was like, I don't understand like what's going on. This is something that I really want to achieve. And it took me a while to really figure out what went wrong. And that was me picking the least exciting goal that I could have picked and then not making things easier for myself. So my goal was to do what I was already doing, filming and creating videos, so basically double my workload. I love making videos. I love like planning, writing, shooting them. Hate editing them, but hey. However, making my #1 goal for the start of the year to double my work by creating double the amount of videos and not hiring an editor to help, really creating like a system that made things easier than it previously was super demotivating. So maybe you're working towards something and you're finding that your motivation is waning. In that case, ask yourself, have you picked a goal that you're excited about? Or have you picked a goal that kind of demotivates you over time? Out of 10, how excited are you about your goal? If it's under a 7, it's probably time to reevaluate. How can you take your goal and turn it into something more impactful and more exciting? I think it's easy to make this mistake because often you pick like a side project as your goal. Because sometimes you have life projects. Like for me, life project was like getting my finances sorted, moving my banks, but that should never have been like a #1 goal. You can have little side projects in the background, but they should never be your forefront thing that you're focusing on. Secondly, reconnect with your why. So the phrase reconnect your why, it does get thrown around a lot, and I know by this point you're probably just like, okay. Basically, reconnecting with your why is reconnecting with your purpose. Friedrich Nietzsche, and I definitely have said that wrong, once said, he who has a why can endure any how. So in this video, I wanted to give you some tangible ways to reconnect with your why, starting with connecting with the resources that motivated you to do the thing in the first place. So for example, maybe you read a book or you watched a documentary teaching you how to be a zero waste or showing the impact of waste on the universe. Or maybe you watched a YouTuber who has an online art business and that's what got you really inspired to pursue what you're pursuing. So go back to those initial resources that maybe set you on the path that you're on right now and use them to reconnect with that why and that purpose and that motivation that got you started in the beginning. Reach out even further and find different books and different resources, different YouTubers, different videos that will help to really reinforce that why in the background. Also, if you've got something in mind that you're working towards, you should have written down some kind of why at the beginning, and if you haven't, that's okay because you have time to do it now. Try just writing down like an A5 page filled with the reasons that you're pursuing the goal that you're pursuing. And if you find as you're writing things down that the reasons aren't really that strong, they're not really resonating with you, maybe what you're working on is actually just like a life admin project or a side project. Maybe it shouldn't be the thing that is at the forefront. Put your why somewhere where you can see it, or at the very least revisit it on a weekly basis or monthly basis so that you can just reinforce the reasons why you're doing the thing. Next up, do a sprint. Informal sprints are totally what motivates me. I feel like if you have a goal and you're working towards it slowly over a long period of time, a sprint is kind of necessary at some point to kick up your motivation a notch. I love an informal sprint, so I sprinted like my website redesign. I sprinted all of my videos where I low-key unintentionally did like a vlogmas. I actually sprint a lot of my video planning. Sometimes when you're just working towards a goal slowly, maybe you've got like a 30-minute a day writing habit, it's a habit-based goal. You need just like a clear weekend or a clear morning where you can just go hard at it and get as much as you possibly can done on that goal in a very short period of time. Working towards something slowly is excellent, and it's a good way to do it. If you're working on something an hour a day, it's almost guaranteed, well, it is guaranteed to get finished, but like 70 days in, I can understand why the motivation would be waning just a little bit. So if you can just get the progress going and really kick things forward, because we're totally motivated by progress. People love progress decompressing. That's where you just want to put in a little mini sprint over a weekend and get things going again. Handle your failures the right way. At the start of this year, I hit a goal that I've been working towards for 3 months, or maybe a little over 3 months, and that was to create a video course, which was amazing. It kicked off as a book and then it turned into a video course. So it was a really long process to get there, or at least it felt really long. There was a lot of content, a lot of prep involved, and then I released it out into the big bad world, and it didn't really go the way I envisioned it to go. The launch, if you can call it that on reflection, kind of flopped. For about a week, I was mortified. I was like, oh dear Lord, like I spent so much time on this. Like there's no way I'm earning back the amount of hours that I even put into this. Everyone knows that I'm never going to achieve a single thing in my life. I may as well just give up now. Then when I got through that kind of thinking, I started to listen to podcasts about launching your product. I started to listen to podcasts about actually creating an online course, which I had not done in any way, shape or form when I was working towards this goal. Honestly, I was just so focused on getting the course created that I didn't even think to research into like doing it the best of ways. At the time though, I was doing it for a learning experience. Like I said that all through it. I was just like, you know what, it's all about learning, because it was a big step for me. It was like pushing me out of my comfort zone, putting a video course into the world, selling something in general. So to be fair, the goal was mainly have it as a learning experience, but I also had an expectation at the end that, you know, it would go well. But after the fact, I learned pretty much every single thing that I did wrong throughout that video course launch. And rather than letting that failed outcome dictate my future goals and my future predictor of success, I decided to kind of take my own back and learn from my mistakes. We all have times where we've failed on our goals, and I think a lot of people let their failure get in the way from them moving forward. So they fail at, you know, getting fit and healthy 1 year, so they're like, well, screw it, I'm never gonna set a New Year's resolution ever again. Every time you set goals and every time you fail at those goals, you are going to learn so much about yourself and so much about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Like, it is worth failing on the goals purely for what you're going to learn. So the next thing you want to do when you're feeling demotivated and you're in a bit of a rut is to connect. So when I'm feeling really demotivated on something I'm working towards, I have a few people in my life that I can go to straight away that can give me a little bit of a pep talk, and sometimes that is literally all it takes. When it comes to talking about your goals with people, do choose the right people. Don't just talk to your random colleague at work about your goals, because you're not going to get that same support as you would with like your mum or your sister, your close friends, your partner. The people that you want to talk to are the people that believe that you're capable, that know that you can do this, that have faith in you, or even if they don't have faith in you, know how to outwardly project faith in you and seem like they have faith in you. If you can, create a mastermind with friends or people that you find in Facebook groups. So the way that I practice this, you guys know, is I have a little weekly catch up with my sister where we sit down, we talk about our goals, and whenever we're both feeling demotivated, we'll just go on a little riff and be like, this is what's happening, I'm struggling with it, and the other one will usually step in and be like, no, let me help you, and it's great. Honestly, there's been so many times where just a little pep talk from my sister, sitting down, like making a bit of a plan with someone by my side, has been so incredibly helpful. If you liked this video, you're probably going to like my video on how to stop feeling stuck and how to start achieving your dreams. I'm gonna have that linked on the screen and down below. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you soon.